Yo guys, Roachy TV here and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today is something a little bit different. I'm doing my Euro predictions for 2020, 2021. Now, I know I've left this video to the last minute, but I'm posting it anyway because I'm so excited for the Euros and I want to share my opinion with you guys. Also, before the video starts, I want you guys to comment down below if your team's in the Euros and how do you think they're going to perform. Obviously, I'm from Australia, so I'm a complete bystander to this competition, meaning there's no bias in a way which is pretty good because I can just sit back, relax, watch the competition, see it all unfold, and I know it's going to be really entertaining this year as well. In front of me on my phone right now, I have the Euro Predictor. Now, everybody's been using it to predict the competition. I'm going to be using it as well. So yeah, I do think it's going to be a really interesting competition. We'll see how it all unfolds when I do my predictions. So let's start. Now, the first group, Group A, is a real hot topic for this Euro, specifically because Turkey have got a really good looking side and they're really the dark horses for this competition. They have a solid young defense with the likes of Soyuncu, Demiral, and Kabak, but they also have experience up top with the likes of Burak Yilmaz, who's 35 years old, but won the league with Lille, and I believe he may have also been top goal scorer as well. Don't quote me on that, but he's had an outstanding season, just proving that age is just a number. Really young team here for Turkey. I think they're going to be really energetic. They have Hakan Çalhanoğlu as well, who's had a great season for AC Milan, although they are competing with the likes of Italy, and Italy have a real mix of experience and youngsters coming through as well. Of course, in defense, they still have experience with Bonucci, Chiellini, and Acerbi. But they've also got some really good informed youngsters coming through the ranks like Barella, Bastoni, Chiesa, is it? They're all playing really good at the moment, and I think they're going to bring a lot to the table for the Euros. I just think that Italy's overall experience and really solid youth is going to trump all the teams in the competition. I will discuss Switzerland and Wales as well. I think Switzerland do have a really solid team. Of course, they do have, in my opinion, one of the best keepers in the world, Jan Sommer at the moment. But I just think overall, as a team unit, they're not going to be able to compete with Turkey and Italy, especially with some of their star players as well. I just don't think Switzerland have enough quality to get the top two. Same goes for Wales, who of course have Gareth Bale, but do they have enough quality holistically over their whole team to compete in the Euros, to get the top two in this group at least? I don't think so. So in that case, I am going to put Italy to top the group. I'm going to put Turkey to come in second, Switzerland to come third, and Wales to come fourth. But of course, anything can happen, and international games have proven that in the past. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Wales ended up coming second, if Switzerland ended up coming second, or even a team like Turkey ended up topping the group. Second group, Group B, has Russia, Belgium, Denmark, and Finland. Now, straight off the bat, I'm just going to say I think Finland are going to come the bottom of this group, and I'm sure many people will agree with me as well. Teemu Pukki is an absolute beast. I really do think he's a solid striker. I do think he'll get some goals in the Euros, but I just don't think they have enough quality and enough depth to get across the line to even get out of this group, to be honest. I think the other teams just have a little bit too much quality for them. Russia, I think, have the potential to be a real surprise team this Euros. I'm pretty sure most of their games are at home as well, which is really going to help them out. The likes of Moranchuk, Golovin, quality players, except when compared to Denmark, I just think Denmark overall, again, have more of a solid team. They have a phenomenal keeper with Kasper Schmeichel. Andreas Christensen just won the Champions League with Chelsea. Højbjerg is great, and I'm sure Eriksen will bring a lot to the table with his creativity and experience. And of course, Jonas Wind has been a real hot topic for Denmark. It's his first Euros. Pretty sure he plays for FC Copenhagen. He's been in great form in the league, whatever he's playing in the Danish league. And I think he could be really surprising and really good for Denmark in the Euros. Only 22 years of age, and keep your eyes up for him, guys. But of course, Denmark have a lot of other talent as well, all over the table, and I think they'll be really good this tournament. So yeah, I'm going to put Russia in at third. I'm going to put Denmark in second, and Belgium, I just think, have too much quality overall, guys. I do think the defense could be a little bit suspicious. They do have some younger defenders with the likes of Boyata, and of course the experience with Vertonghen, Alderweireld, but we just look at their midfield and attack, guys. It's next level. Kevin De Bruyne may miss a couple of games in the group stage due to injury, but he'll probably be back, and let's be honest, he's one of the best, if not the best, attacking midfielders in the world. Romelu Lukaku has had an outstanding season for Inter. He could potentially, if Belgium can go all the way, be top goal scorer for the Euros. And Jeremy Doku, 19 years of age, got his first Euros. I think he could light it up for Belgium. I think he'll be really interesting. But yeah, Belgium I just think are too quality and they'll come first, in my opinion. Group C, another interesting one with 501 to win, North Macedonia in amongst there as well. I think it could be a really interesting group, this one as well. But I do think, just straight off the bat, looking at it, guys, Netherlands are going to top the group. Their team overall is just too quality. Even without Van Dijk, their defense is amazing. De Ligt and De Vrij. De Vrij won the league with Inter. He's a phenomenal defender in my opinion. De Ligt, really young as well. Really solid talent. Wijnaldum, we're going to see him push up a little bit more. His creativity, second to none. I think he's going to be great. And of course, up front, there's just endless talent when it comes to the Netherlands. Memphis Depay, Weghorst, Donyell Malen, just phenomenal. A lot of young players getting picked for Netherlands, which really, really excites me because it just shows how they have faith in their youth, like Gravenberch, Wijndal, whatever the left back's called. Of course, I mentioned Donyell Malen, Denzel Dumfries. So first for Netherlands, I'm pretty sure we can all agree, is hopefully the most likely option. If we look at Ukraine, they have some solid players. League winner with the likes of Zinchenko, Andrei Yarmolenko as well, very good. But I just think overall, Austria edged Ukraine a little bit. So I'm going to put Austria in second, Ukraine in third, and North Macedonia, as much as I hope they do really good, Goran Pandev, he's 37 years old, I hope he bangs some in, Alioski, I just think that the teams in their group are just a bit too good for them. So North Macedonia, I hope I'm wrong, but I have them coming last. Group D, is it coming home? Well, I do think England are going to be doing well in their group. I am very sad that Jesse Lingard didn't get picked in the 26-man squad, but just if we look at the depth of England's squad, this has got to be up there with the best it's been in a while. You know, if players can keep fit, John Stones and Harry Maguire, two phenomenal centre-backs in my opinion. Kyle Walker, we all know how good he is at right back, and Luke Shaw in great form at left back as well. Ben White and Reece James, two young options as well. I'll be excited to see them play in maybe a game like Czech Republic. They could bring a lot to the table. I'm excited to see my main man Declan Rice play, but the two players I'm most excited to see are Phil Foden and Mason Mount. I just think they're going to have a phenomenal Euros. Both had great seasons, and you know, I try to ask people sometimes, who do you think's better? But I've kind of come to the conclusion now that you just can't ask that question. They're just both phenomenal players in amongst themselves, and I hope they have a great Euros. Really young team with a lot of talent and a few players with a lot of experience as well. Harry Kane, if he can keep fit, he's going to be bagging in goals. We all know that. Croatia have some aging players, but in my opinion, doesn't lack any talent. Ivan Perisic, Luka Modric, Kovacic, Petkovic been bagging goals up top for them as well. Mislav Orsic, who all FIFA players hate, and can't forget Marcelo Brozovic, who just won the league with Inter as well, had an outstanding season. I do think Croatia have a very solid team. When it comes to Czech Republic, I think they are going to be a real surprise team for everybody. If you look at their team on paper, may not look the best, but as a unit, they play phenomenally. As a unit, they get along really well as a team, and I'm really excited to see how they play. Of course, they do have a couple of West Ham players in great form. Vladimir Kufal, Thomas Souček. Patrick Schick up top will be great as well, I'm sure. And Scotland as well, they've got a great team. They've attained Shea Adams. They've got the likes of Andrew Robertson, of course, Kieran Tierney, Grant Hanley. I think this is going to be a really competitive group, and I honestly have struggled so much to put especially third and fourth, but I'm pretty sure the way how I think it's going to go is Scotland fourth, Czech Republic third, Croatia second, and we're going to put England atop the group. Could go completely different, especially with Scotland as well. I think they honestly have the potential to come second in the group. But again, these things you just can't predict. Group E with Poland, Spain, Sweden, and Slovakia. Again, a really solid group. I do think, first things first, I'm going to say it, I think Spain don't have as solid as a team as what they usually have, especially going forward. I mean, up top, who do they have? Alvaro Morata, Gerard Moreno, Ferran Torres could even play up front. I just don't think there's enough experience from what we've seen in previous Spanish teams. Of course, they've attained Aymeric Laporte, a solid defender, but I just don't think they can go all the way. I'm going to say it off the bat, but I do think they have enough quality to come first in their group. Now, Poland, in my opinion, don't have too much going for them when it comes to defense, although I will say their goalkeeper, Szczesny, is pretty solid, and their striker, in my opinion, the best in the world, Robert Lewandowski. See, this one really depends on how Lewandowski performs, because, I mean, the players around him, don't get me wrong, they're not the worst, but Lewandowski is really, really up there, and if he can set the Euros on fire, who knows? But the same goes for Sweden as well. I think the young Alexander Isak could really set the Euros alight, but in my opinion, the safer option is to go with Poland in second, Sweden in third, and Slovakia to finish fourth. Again, Slovakia do have some quality. They've got Kuka, Hamsik, can't forget Dubravka as well. They have potential to be really, really solid, but I just don't think they're going to be able to compete with these other teams, so I'm going to put them in fourth. Group F. Now, you can't win with this one because there's always going to be a really, really good team coming third, and it's just deciding which one that's going to be. I will say straight off the bat, as much as I love Hungary, Peter Galaci, your hairline is goated. I just don't see them coming in the top three, let's be honest. I'm going to put Hungary in fourth. Portugal, France, and Germany have really, really, really good quality. Portugal possibly having its best defense ever. Ruben Diaz, we all know how good he is at the moment. Pepe, he's the oldest player at the Euros, but he's still a phenomenal defender. And same goes for age with Jose Font. He just captained Lille to win the Ligue 1. And of course, there's no lack of attackers when it comes to Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo, João Felix, Bruno Fernandes, João Moutinho. It's the list goes on is what I'm trying to say. But the same thing goes for France as well. I mean, the depth is immense. I'm a bit annoyed that Meslier didn't get picked over Mandanda. He's 36 years old, but you know, what's the difference going to make? N'Golo Kante and Pogba is just too good of a midfield for me, and Kylian Mbappe up top. I mean, how good really is he? We'll see, but far out. I think he has the potential to be top goal scorer in the Euros, and in that case, I'm going to put France first. Now, Germany, do not underestimate Germany, because of course they have Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. Although they didn't have the greatest of season, they did win the Champions League with Chelsea, and Germany is one of those teams that are always very solid as a unit as well. Most of their players do play in the Bundesliga, so they understand how they play and they know how to win. But just in terms of quality, I do think Portugal do just trump them, so I'm going to put Portugal in second, Germany in third. But let's be honest, I don't see Germany losing or dropping points to Hungary. Now we have to pick the 4 best third teams. Now this is never going to be easy, because we have to take into account not necessarily what the best team is, but who's in their group. Switzerland, I can see them getting 3 points against Wales, which could just be enough for them. I can also see them getting a point against Turkey potentially. Russia as well. I definitely do think they're going to get a win against Finland in their group. Germany, as I said, should win against Hungary, and you'd think they could also get a draw against France or Portugal. I'm going to go with Switzerland, Russia, Sweden, and Germany to go through, as much as I hope Ukraine and Czech do go through, because, I mean, listen, Yarmolenko plays for West Ham, Vladimir Kufal and Souček play for West Ham. I just don't think they will, based on how their group is structured, but yeah, that's what I'm going for. Now we get into the fun part, the knockout stages. First game, Belgium versus Sweden. Of course, don't underestimate Sweden's quality, guys. They're really, really good. Alexander Isak, as I said, Emil Forsberg, really, really good players. But Belgium just overall, although they don't have the best past history when it comes to these European competitions, I just think they have too much quality, and I'm going to get them to beat Sweden. I'm going to predict them to beat Sweden, go into the quarterfinals, baby. Italy, Austria, similar concept, guys. I do think that Austria are a very, very solid team. They have some good young players as well. Sasa Kalajic, the 6'7" striker. I'm really excited to see him play. But I just think Italy just have too much quality. Too many good young players, too many good old players as well still. I just see them beating Austria comfortably as well. 2-0, 3-0 win. So I'm going to put Italy to go into the quarterfinals. France, Switzerland, this is a pretty straightforward one for me. France are going to go through. Croatia, Poland really, really has the potential to go either way. I think Croatia are more of a solid team overall, whereas Poland have the potential to go absolutely crazy with goals when it comes to Robert Lewandowski. But I just think overall Croatia just trumps them. They got some really good attackers as well, with the likes of Kramaric. I mentioned their midfield before. It's absolutely phenomenal. And the defense is pretty good as well. I'm going to predict Croatia to go through, and they're going to have to play France. So good luck to them. Spain versus Russia. Now, as I said before, Spain, in my opinion, have one of the weakest teams they've had in a while. But with that being said, I still think they have enough quality to get over the line against Russia. Russia are a real surprise team, though. We know, we've seen that in the past. But I just think that Spain, in terms of quality, just a little bit better than Russia. Now, I've seen everybody getting this game in their predictions, and hear me out, it really, really could go either way. Like, I could say England, I could say Portugal, and in my opinion, that is a complete 50-50 game. Now, Portugal coming into the Euros, 7th favourites to win, so they're actually not coming in that strong, but I really, really think that their team quality is amazing. Same goes for England as well. I mean, a really, really young-looking English squad. I'm excited to see how they all gel together. They have done good in prior games building up to this Euro competition, and as I said, Harry Kane has potential to completely set the competition alight, and as well as young players like Mason Mount and Phil Foden. My gut says Portugal, except my head just says, it's coming home, baby. So, you know what? I'm going to say it's coming home, but then again, don't get me wrong. I do think Portugal have one of the best teams they've had in a very long time. And if they do come up against England, if they top their group, which may not be a good thing for England, yeah, I think it could go downhill for them. But let's just say England for the video. Netherlands, Germany, now 2 really, really solid teams. As I said before, I think Netherlands have got a really, really solid team, even without Van Dijk. Germany, although they're going through a little bit of a transition phase with their team, they don't lack any quality, in my opinion. It's their manager Lowe's last competition, I believe, as well, so they want to play well for him. I think Serge Gnabry is one to look out for this Euros, guys. I'm excited to see how he plays. But Netherlands, again, they don't lack any quality, and I think this is going to be a really, really tight contest. I am going to say Germany to go through, although I think it's going to be really, really close. Could potentially go to penalties. Turkey, Denmark, the last game of the round of 16. Now, if this happened, this will be really exciting because it's kind of two underdogs going at it. I think they're both really, really similar in terms of quality. Denmark have a little bit more experience with some of their players, although Turkey do not lack any quality. Part of me thinks that Turkey will go really, really far into this competition, and I'm sure to even make it into the round of 16 alone, Turkish fans would be really, really happy. Although I just think Denmark will step up to the mark. Is that a pun? It'll be a really close game. Again, one that could potentially go to penalties. I think one goal will decide it if it does happen, but I am going to predict Denmark to go through to the quarterfinals. Quarterfinals time, and the first game being Belgium-Italy. Now, if this happened, what a game it would be. Belgium, #1 ranked in the world right now, and Italy, what an exciting squad they have. Belgium, now, they don't have the greatest history when it comes to European competitions. Could they break it this year? I really, really think it's a possibility, but something just tells me that Italy are going to make it into the semi-final. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how it all unfolds. But I'm confident enough in saying that I think Belgium will be knocked out in the quarterfinals and Italy will go through to the semi-finals. France, Croatia. Now, France favorites to win the competition, and Croatia have proven in the past that they really, really are capable of surprising other teams. But I just think that this Euros, France have got one of the best teams, if not up there with the best teams they've ever had. I mean, there's just endless talent in that team, and I just see France going through to the semi-finals. I'm sure most of you can agree with me. Croatia would be really, really happy, though, with making the quarterfinals. They do have a really, really solid team, though, and it does come with no surprises. But France, in my opinion, just too much quality. Spain versus England. Now, as I said before, I just don't think that Spain have enough quality to make it all the way. England, I think, do. Although England are choke artists, and English fans know what I'm talking about. But if I'm going to say that England are going to beat Portugal, I think Portugal's team is much stronger than France. So I'd be silly. I would be stupid to say that England wouldn't beat Spain if they play them in the quarterfinals, if I've already predicted them to beat Portugal. So, England, you're winning, mate. Germany versus Denmark. Now, how interesting would it be if we saw Denmark, a real underdog in this competition, knock Germany out at this stage of the competition? Now, as much as I think that Germany would come into this game favorites, and theoretically they should win, part of me really wants to say that Denmark will win. And for that case, for the video, I'm going to say Denmark are going to beat Germany. Barely. I think it would be a really, really close game if it did happen. But I am going to predict Denmark to win. Although, obviously, part of me thinks that Germany will. No offense to the Germans watching. But I do think that Denmark are a real underdog coming into this competition and a real team to look out for. So do not underestimate them. And then there were 4. Italy, France, England, and Denmark. The first semi-final, Italy versus France, would be the game. Would be the game of the Euros. I think 2 of the best teams going at it. I think Italy are real dark horses going into this competition as well. Of course, they did go through a little bit of a transition phase. Obviously, they weren't the team that they were back in the early 2000s, even the late 2000s. But I do think that quality is starting to come back in. And I do think Italy are doing well with their youth players. And they do have the capability to knock off France off their pedestal. But I just think that France's quality is too crazy. I really do think that. As I said before, N'Golo Kante is in the form of his life. Pogba, absolutely amazing, of course. Zuma, Kimpembe, Digne, Pavard, we all seen how quality they are as defenders. Pavard, we saw what he did in the World Cup, so we know that he can show up for France when they need to. A lot of this really depends on how the team will handle pressure. I do think having a leader on the pitch like Chiellini would really help for Italy, but the same also goes for France. We all know how big a leader Hugo Lloris is. And going forward, I think Italy have some really good quality. Lorenzo Insigne, as I said, Chiesa, however you say it, Ciro Immobile. But when you compare it to the likes of Antoine Griezmann and Kylian Mbappe, I just think that it just trumps Italy, and I think that France will go through to the finals. England versus Denmark. Now, I'm not going to say much for this because although I think Denmark are a great team, if I predicted England to beat Portugal and Spain, a little bit reluctantly, I still think that if England did come up against Denmark at some point in the knockout stages, they would beat them. So with that being said, I am going to predict England to go through the final, and it would be a France versus England final. How heartbreaking would it be if England made it to this stage of the competition and lost? And ladies and gentlemen, I would just say, how good of a final would this be? I think these are the two teams that we would love to see play each other in the grand final. And I think it would be a really, really good game as well. The big question is, though, who do I think will win? Well, drumroll please. The winner of Euro 2020, 2021, in my opinion, will be France.
I like
now,
it.
I really, really hope England win the Euros. I'm not going to lie. Now, I didn't want to come in here with any bias, although it kind of sounded like I did. I just think France, with the team that they have, there's too much quality. Like, you'd expect a team like that to win the Euros, and I'm going to go through with it. I'm going to predict France to win the Euros, but I think this is going to be a really, really, really interesting competition, and I'm excited to see how it all unfolds. In terms of dark horses to look at, I talked about it. Italy, Turkey, Denmark, in my opinion, are the big three. Czech Republic as well could be a real dark horse as well. If I'm predicting England to go all the way, I will say the top goal scorer for the competition will be Harry Kane, although I do think Kylian Mbappe will be a close runner-up. And in terms of young player of the competition, for me, it has to be an English player. They have so many good young players. I'm going to go with Phil Foden or Mason Mount, one of the two. So there you have it, guys, my Euro predictions. Now, at the time of you seeing this, the Euros may have already started. I just want you to know that when I filmed this, the Euros didn't start. If your team's in the Euros or not, this is football at the end of the day. And if you're watching this, I assume you love football. So spend time with your mates, spend time with your family, watch the games. I think it'll be a really enjoyable competition. And yeah, I guess we'll see how the predictions go. But if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, share the channel to your mates, and most importantly, enjoy the Euros. It's a real exciting time of the year, so let's have fun, let's enjoy it. You guys take care. I'll see you all very soon. Peace. Oh, shit.
And I don't know where I'll go, never backwards, only forward. And I don't know where I'll go, never backwards, only forward.
Life is just one big road, take the wheel cause you're driving too slow. Yeah, damn right we live in a fast lane, here for the play but never the game. Just like Sony and